What's going on, guys? It's me, Dreamliner Fan 2016 here, and today we have the GeminiJets September 2023 releases for you guys. I'm super excited to see what GeminiJets has for the September 2023 releases, and yeah, I'm just super excited to see them. I wonder what models they're going to be having for September. And yeah, let's get started with the future release backlog, future release sets as always. So, nothing much on the future releases, like what we're going to be seeing in the future release. We might get the new livery Emirates right here, so as you can see, some of the Emirates A380 is not there. The Emirates A380 and the 777 is not even there. We might get Air Force One, I'm not sure. And we might get a couple like military planes from Gemini Max. The future releases for the last 747 isn't like in stock, it's not taken away yet. And other than that, nothing much on the future releases. Just a little bit of like stuff has been removed from that future release backlog. And yeah, let's go take a look at the August 2023 releases from last month. And as you can see, everything in 1/400 scale is by now. Let's have a look at that Airbus A330-900neo. Overall, I think the look of the A330-900 neo for Delta Airlines, it looks very nice. And yeah, I'm eager to see if I can try getting this small one day. Let's look at the Delta Airlines 764. As you can see, as she comes out, you already saw like the image in the main page, but here it is right there in a closer look. Overall, the 767-400 mold looks very nice, and yeah, nice work that GeminiJets in this case are utilizing their 764 molds usefully. We might also see another 764 in this release set, so be prepared for that. Let's look at that MD-80 from US Air, the MD-82 from US Air. So here it is. That is a very nice model right there. And yeah, overall, the design of like the model looks very nice, and of course the beautiful chrome. Of course, I think this was taken in like indoors, I believe, or outdoors. It kind of seems like somewhat indoors, and I see kind of like reflectance. I'm not sure where this is taken from, but yeah. But then we have like all the 1/200 set right here. Is it all by it now? Yep, everything is all by it now, so let's take a look at the 1/200 section. Nothing much. I'm not gonna like go too much because I want to get those releases outwards for like the September releases. So here's the contours. ERJ-145, looking very nice in 1/200 scale. The Delta 737-900ER is very nice, and it looks super nice in 1/200 scale. I did pre-order. What was I gonna say? Oh yes. I already ordered this model from Panda Fox Toys, so you should expect an unboxing on that model soon. Hopefully in a future mass unboxing or something else. But yes, I did pre-order the Delta 737-900ER in 1/200 scale, November 856 Delta November. So I'm super excited to get this model in the future, if it comes as soon as possible in that case. Here's a JetBlue A220-300 in 1/200, looking very nice right there. And yeah, so nothing much is going like here. Let's look at that Canyon Blue, last pick of the day, and then we're gonna like take a look at the September 2023 releases, and there she is right there. Overall, I think it looks very nice, and yeah, Gemini 200 never fails. Of course, their 1/200 models, well, some of their models aren't as accurate, but most of their 1/200 models are very nice. Alright, so now that I've gone through all the August releases, let's take a look at September now. And do we see September? Yes, we do. So here is our GeminiJets 1/400 September 2023 releases coming in next month. So I'm super excited to see what they have in stock for the 1/400 section for September 2023. So without further delay, let's go into the GeminiJets September 2023 releases. So let's get started off with our first model in 1/400 scale. And what model is that going to be? As I scroll down, we should first have is... Here we go. Now we have an Air Wisconsin Bombardier CRJ-200 in the Air Wisconsin retro livery in this case, or this is just a house livery. Some say it's like a retro livery, but I think this is just a house livery, I guess. But she is coming in 1/400 scale now. Of course, the 1/200 counterpart got released last month, so you can see. Maybe it's like a retro livery almost. I think this is like a Air Wisconsin retro, I believe. Maybe. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I think this should be the retro livery for Air Wisconsin, excuse me. So yeah, a very nice livery for this aircraft, and the aircraft registration is November 471. No, oh yeah, I'm reading correctly. So let me reread the registration again. November 471 Zulu Whiskey, and a MSRP or price is $48.95. Typical price for, excuse me, that's like a typical price for a regional jet right there. So nice that they're utilizing the CRJ200 for Air Wisconsin. Very nice right there. Next on downwards, we should move on to next is, here we go. Now we have a Bonza Boeing 737 MAX 8 in 1/400 scale. Now of course GeminiJets already, well not GeminiJets, before GeminiJets, NG models did this already. I think it's both in maybe July, because they're the first time they did this, like it was NG models. They were the first to create, I think they were like the first to create a Bonza Max 8 1/400, so they released that under February 2023 releases for NG. And now GeminiJets is gonna go in their take for this Bonza 737 MAX 8. So of course Bonza is kind of like a startup airline. It's somewhat new to the aviation industry in Australia, but they are an ultra low cost airline in Australia. Of course, they have a very unique livery here for Australia, and of course that's thumbs up right there, which is very nice. So this aircraft is registered Victor Hotel Uniform Julia Kilo, and the price for that model is your average price for a narrow body airplane, $52.95. So that's the Bonza 737 MAX 8, and I'm eager to see what GeminiJets has, I'm eager to see what GeminiJets does with their Bonza 737 MAX 8. It might be not as accurate to NG's, but I think it should turn out good. Alright, so now going downwards, we should now have a British Airways Airbus A321. This should be a nice model for the British collectors. So as you can see, here is the British Airways Airbus A321neo. And yeah, a very nice plane from the British Airways fleet, and maybe this can travel like many destinations in Europe, from like France, Paris, what else, like Athens, Greece, Rome, basically anywhere where British Airways flies in Europe. So this should be a nice aircraft for all the European and British collectors. And yeah, it's a very nice model from GeminiJets in general. So this aircraft is registered Golf November Echo Oscar Romeo. And of course, it's the same price as for the Bonza 737 MAX 8. Alright, so now moving on downwards, let's see what we have next. Next up, we should have is, there we go! Now we have the Emirates Airbus A380 in the new, well, you can say new livery, but I call it the revised livery. So here it is right there. Of course, GeminiJets, with their Emirates partnership, they produce all these Emirates models, so Emirates can make money, and GeminiJets too. But yeah, this should be a very nice model. I'm eager to see if I can try to go for this model. I'm not really quite sure because I don't have an Airbus A380 in my collection before, but I'm tempting to get one, hopefully soon, maybe in the near future. But hey, this is a nice model. This is a nice release from GeminiJets, excuse me. And yeah, it's a very nice. Overall, I think the Emirates livery is just pretty much the same. They just like changed the flag, and the Emirates tiles are a lot bigger. But overall, I think the Emirates new livery, well, revised livery, is pretty much the same thing as like their previous livery. So yeah, there's the Emirates A380 in the current, well, revised livery, and they were, excuse me, aircraft registration is Alpha 6 Echo Oscar Golf, and the price is $72.95 for like an Emirates A380. That's like a big money right there. Alright, so yeah, I'm hoping a 777 can also get released too, and let's see if they do. And speaking of that, now we have the Emirates Boeing 777-300ER in the revised livery as well. Now I'm really tempting on getting an Emirates 777 because like I've been thinking of I know NG models, they have their Boeing 777 mold, but they haven't produced like an Emirates model yet. But I'm very tempting on getting this model in the future for Emirates. Is my first Emirates. What am I saying? Oh yeah, this might be my first Emirates model in my collection. The Emirates 777-300ER in the revised livery. And overall, it looks very nice on the 777 as well as the A380. So yeah, here it is right there. Emirates, of course, with the bigger titles and the flag design, it has changed. And yeah, like I said, I might get this model. That'll be my first Emirates model. I'm very tempting, but it will be 100% sure that is gonna be my first model from Emirates. And Emirates is pretty much like an airline that I needed for my collection for a long time, so this should mark the start of it. And hopefully, if NG can do an Emirates 777 in the future, then I'll get that too. So this aircraft is registered Alpha 6 Echo November Victor, and the price is $63.95. Now I'm gonna have to check because like I'm not sure if that plane has If that registration has the revised livery, so Alpha 6 Echo November Victor, and she does have the new livery actually. So yeah, I'll show you a picture, but she is now in the new livery. Well, you can say new livery once again, but I call it the revised livery. So she's now in the revised livery, so I might get this model. And yeah, my first Emirates collection, well, my first Emirates model is going to be arriving soon. So I'm super excited for that. Alright, so now we move on downwards. We should start with the D's, and hopefully we get some Delta varieties. Let's see what we have first. Moving on downwards. Actually, we do have, well, before that, we have the flaps down version of this aircraft. So flaps slats extended version for this aircraft. So you can also get the flaps down as well, but I would rather prefer like the flaps up and slats up. But yeah, here is the flaps down version of this aircraft. Of course, the big difference is the flaps and slats are down. And the price is like a... trying to make sure that I'm calculating this correctly. So like yeah. So this is now a $4 price increase. So it's now $67.95. So yeah, that is the Emirates 333, both in the new livery, as well as the A380 new livery as well. So really nice that GeminiJets is utilizing the Emirates models for their partnership with Emirates. Now we move on to the D section. So let's see what we have for the Delta section. Hopefully it's Delta, but let's see. What we should first have is, actually we're skipping all the way to D's, and now we're going into the Qatar 737 MAX 8. So as you can see, Qatar 737 MAX 8 is right here. Of course, NG already did this in their July 2023 releases. I'm not sure if that model is delayed. But now we have this Qatar 737 MAX 8, and I think it's been a while since Gemini did like a Qatar model. I don't really know how many years, I don't know how many years Gemini released Qatar. But now we have the Qatar 737 MAX 8, and once again, same goes for like the Bonza. I'm eager to see what GeminiJets has their take on this small right here. And yeah, the Max mode from Gemini is okay, so I should expect that. So of course, the aircraft registration is Alpha 7 Bravo Sierra Charlie. Of course, their first Boeing 737 MAX 8 for Qatar. And the price is, of course, your average price for the mainline. Yeah, so we have the Qatars. Let's see what we have next down the road. We should have, Southwest 737-800 in the Tennessee 1 livery. How about this? So, of course, Tennessee 1 on the 800, it's clearly like close to a year since Tennessee 1 was painted on an 800, so here it is. Well, as of September, it would be a year from now since Tennessee 1 returned, but now we're seeing her in 1/400 scale this time. So if you already have if you haven't got the NG version, I would go for the Gemini version, but if there's still some available from NG, then you can go for that. Either way, it's your forte on collecting models. You can either collect from NG or Gemini. You can also go for this model too from GeminiJets. The 737-800 mold isn't as bad, but overall, it's a good mold from GJ. So yeah, Tennessee 1, right there. And of course, the aircraft registration is November 8620 Hotel. And the price is, of course, it's your average price for a mainline aircraft, or a mainline narrow-body plane. Alright, so now we scroll on downwards. Let's see what we have next for the September releases. Next up we should have is... oh my god! Holy crap! Okay. Now this is gonna be a hot seller right here. This is absolutely a hot seller. It's a hot seller right there. Look at this. We have the Boeing 747-200 VC-25A Air Force One. Now I'm actually gonna get this model because it's been a while since Gemini did like an Air Force One, but now we're seeing it again for the Boeing 747-200 VC-25A. And yeah, very tempted on getting this model right here. Of course, it's a presidential plane, and yeah, I haven't seen Air Force One yet, but I'm tempting to see this airplane before the BC-25Bs start service and this plane gets retired. So I'm also gonna be getting this model as well, and yeah, it should be a perfect model. It should be a perfect plane for all these model planes. If I were put this in an airport update, it's for the president's visit. But hey, it's a very nice model, and glad that GeminiJets is doing that again. Now the aircraft registration, or I would say the tail number of this aircraft is 28,000, and I think it's I'm not sure what the 28,000 is referring to, but I think it's referring to the tail number for each Air Force One, because there are two Air Force Ones there's like, I think it was 27,000, and this one right here, 28,000. So there's two Air Force Ones, but they operate in a different tail number. So of course that's the registration, and the price is $72.95. So yeah, that is it for the 1-400 section. Overall, not really much on like American varieties. We do got like the Air Wisconsin, Southwest, and Air Force One, which is a nice addition. Surprisingly, this should have been on a Gemini Max in the first place, because like it's a US Air Force airplane, and yeah. But we mostly get like Australia, Europe, well some of Europe, but it's mostly like Middle East stuff. So of course you got the Emirates and the Qatars right there. But overall, not much bad of a release set for 1-400 section. I think the varieties are good. I'm tempting on getting the Emirates 333 in the new livery and Air Force One as well. But other than that, some nice stuff from September 2023, and I'm eager to see which models I get from that release set. Alright, so now moving on. Do we have some Gemini Maxes? Hopefully we do. There we go. So now we have some Gemini Maxes. It's been a while. I think 3 consecutive months we don't have like a Gemini Max release. But now Gemini Max has returned for September 2023. So let's see what the Gemini Maxes are, and I'm assuming there's like one. What is that going to be? It's a US Air Force Boeing C-17 Globemaster from the North Carolina Air National Guard. So here she is right there. Looking very nice. Of course, like you got the tail, Charlotte. It's based out of Charlotte, North Carolina. And of course, nothing much. It's just a US Air Force plane. Got US Air Force tiles right there, and probably that's the tail number of the aircraft. And yeah, very nice model from Gemini Max. And of course, the registration of that aircraft is 021107, and the price is $54.95. And is that the only? Yep, that's the only Gemini Max release from that release set. And now let's move on to our 1-200 section of this release set for September 2023. Now let's see what, I'm eager to see what models are going to be released for 1-200. So yeah, let's go take a look at the 1-200 section without wasting further time. And yeah, let's just jump straight into the 1-200 section. So let's start off with, let's see what we first have. We have the American Airlines Airbus A321neo now coming in 1-200 scale. So of course, I think they just released this a couple of months back, just a few months back, probably like, oh man, was it like June? Couldn't recall, but I think it was somewhere around June, like the June releases for GeminiJets. But now this is coming in 1-200. So yeah, the Airbus A321neo for American Airlines now 1-200 scale, and the price is $104.95, and the registration of that aircraft is November 421 Uniform Whiskey. Alright, so now moving on downwards, let's see what we have next. Next up we should have is a Piedmont Retro Bombardier Dash 8-100 from American Airlines, or in this case American Eagle. So here it is. Of course, I think they released this last month in July. So now we're getting this in 1-200 now. So yeah, a very nice retro livery, and quite interesting that American used to operate Dash 8-100s. Of course, these were bought by US Airways when they were delivered, but then merged with American, and now you see this. So yeah, a very nice retro it's a retro model, of course nice for the retro collectors. And yeah, very nice model. Of course the aircraft registration, November 837 Echo X-Ray, and the price is $80.95. Alright, so that's the Dash 8-100 from American Eagle. Let's see what we have next. Next up we should have is the British Airways Boeing 777-200ER. Of course this was also released last month. And here she is, the British 222 with Rolls-Royce. And yeah, it should be a nice model at 1-200 scale, and nice for the British collectors in Europe. So yeah, nothing much to go over there. The aircraft registration is Gulf Yankee Mike Sierra, and the price is $156.95. Alright, so now moving on downwards, let's see what we have next. I think we should have a flaps down version of this model. Yep, we do have a flaps down. And of course, it's a $10 price increase for that model, $166.95. And yeah, the only main difference is the flaps and slats are down for this model right here. And yeah, nothing much to go over. It's pretty much the same thing. Alright, so now moving on downwards, next up we should have is a Delta Airlines Boeing 717-200. So yeah, here's the Delta 717-200 coming in 1-200 scale now. And yeah, a very nice aircraft for the 1-200 collectors. I bet many Delta collectors are going to be happy about this. So yeah, the 1200 717 mode should have... Hang on a minute. Look at this. I guess we're missing an engine. Looks like there's like a CGI. I just already pointed that out, that there is a CGI error. There's no engine on the CGI image. So I think GeminiJets needs to fix that. But I think the actual model will have the engines. But other than that, minus the CGI error, I think this model should turn out nicely in 1/200 scale. So the price is $102.99. Let me reread the price again. So the price is $102.95, and the aircraft registration is November 9998 Alpha Tango. So that's the Delta 717 right there. Let's see what you have next. Next up we should have is the Emirates Airbus A380 in the revised livery, now coming in 1/200 scale. So now they're both releasing this Emirates A380 both for the months of September 2023 in 1/400 and 1/200. So nice that we're seeing like this model coming in both 1/200 and 1/400 for that month. So yeah, once again, it's just like a revised livery, nothing too special. It's pretty much the same thing as the previous livery, but I think it looks sleeker, let's just say. It's a sleeker livery for Emirates right there. And of course, it's the same registration as what it is in 1/400, and the price is $194.95, excuse me. So that's close to $200 right there. So that's a hefty price, yeah. Now we move on downwards. Let's see what we have is, whoo, how about this? Boeing BBJ 737-700 from the Royal Australian Air Force. That is a very interesting 1/200 model to come out right there. And how about this livery? This is a very nice livery right there for the Royal Australian Air Force 737. Now, I'm not sure if this is like a government transport aircraft, like they would transfer the Prime Minister of Australia or like some other government official in that area. But yeah, this is a very nice 1/200 model for the Australian guys, the Aussies over there, the land down under. And yeah, overall, I think the 1/200 model should, like, I think it should appear very interesting from my eye. So yeah, there's the Royal Australian Air Force 737-700 BBJ, and the price is $104.95. Excuse me. Sorry for that long pause right there. And the aircraft registration is Alpha 36001. I think this is like a government transport aircraft. Maybe. It could be. But yeah, that's the Royal Australian Air Force 737-700 BBJ. Alright, so now we move on. Let's see what we have next. We do have the flaps down version of this aircraft. And yeah, pretty much the same thing. Somehow, they don't show like the model is a flaps down or not, so it doesn't indicate that this model is a flaps down. I don't know why. Probably another like CGI error. Maybe. But yeah. And surprisingly enough, the price is the same. When it's like, hang on a minute. Wait. Oh, wait. Oh, now I get it. I see. So this is actually a different registration. I thought there was gonna be like a flaps down, but now we do have another BBJ 737-700 from the Royal Australian Air Force. So I'm quite. It's kind of like similar to what NG had, because like they were released like I think what NG did for the Chinese Air Force A319. They released all like the models. It's like the models. Like what am I saying? Oh yeah, they both released the Chinese Air Force A319s. All three of them. Now, GeminiJets is gonna go for their take at 1/200 for the Royal Australian Air Force. So, quite shocking that GeminiJets now did a duplicate for the Royal Australian Air Force BBJ 737-700. Now, the main difference is the registration. So, that registration is Alpha 36002. And yeah, quite interesting, like I said. I'm eager to see what they come up next for this next model right here. And let's see what it is. It's another one! Oh my god. Actually, it's the same registration. Alpha 36001. But now it has the 100 years sticker. And yeah, there it is. So, 100 years of the Royal Australian Air Force. So, now this was like similar to what NG did. This was similar to what NG did for the Chinese Air Force A319s. Now GeminiJets now has their take on 3 Royal Australian Air Force 737-700s. Shocking. That was like quite shocking right there. But yeah, those are the Royal Australian Air Force right there. So you can get either one. it depends on your forte, but here are all the three BBJ Royal Australian Air Force 737-700s coming in 1/200 scale. Quite shocking that GeminiJets decided to do 3 of them, except one is now like a 100-year sticker. So yeah, quite shocking. Alright, so now moving on downwards, let's see what we have next. Now we're going to, ooh, how about this? We're going all retro right here. Now we have a Southwest Airlines Boeing 727-200. And how about this? This is a nice model for all the retro guys right here. So Southwest Airlines leased I think it was like two Boeing 727-200s. They didn't keep them in their fleet for much longer because I think the 727 didn't really fit their needs for an all 737 fleet. So I don't know, it just only took a few years until they were returned to the leaser. But once again, these are leased airplanes from Southwest Airlines. And yeah, very interesting model right here, coming in 1/200 scale. So the price is $104.95, and the registration of that aircraft is November 406 Bravo November. So yeah, very nice model, and quite surprising that they're gonna do that. And we're gonna see what the 1/400 scale counterpart looks like. And I just want to let you guys know that the gold is not going to be as perfect, but I think this is like a different gold, I think, so it might turn out a little bit different. But we'll have to wait and see once the model images are out. Alright, so that's the Southwest. Moving on downwards, we should have is a Brazilian Airlines Fokker F100 from TAM. Now that's something cool right here. So here she is. Give it a while to load. And there she is right there. So here's the TAM Fokker F100. Of course, this was already released in 1/400 scale already. Now she's coming in 1/200 scale. And yeah, the F100 is a very unique aircraft. Of course, this is a Dutch aircraft. And yeah, nice to see that TAM, I'm not sure if TAM still operate those or they may have retired them already, but this was a very nice aircraft TAM operated back then. So of course, this aircraft is registered Papa Tango, Mike Romeo Alpha, and the price, of course, is $85.95. Alright, so now we move on downwards. Let's see what we have next. We do have, US Air McDonnell Douglas MD-82, now coming in 1/200 scale now. So of course, they did release this last month as well, and now she's coming in 1/200 scale. Now yeah, it should be a nice model for the 1/200 guys. And looks like we do have another CGI error. There's a missing engine. So yeah, I think GeminiJets, I think they should fix that. I don't know what happened right there, but of course the model will have engines, but I think GeminiJets need some fixing on the CGI, because sometimes we would see missing engines, but hey, it should be a nice model regardless. And turns out that the US flag is put in backwards. Quite shocking, quite surprising right there, but I also noticed that the US flag is pointing backwards. But yeah, that's some other CGI errors GeminiJets needs to fix. So this aircraft is registered November 824 Uniform Sierra, and the price is $109.95. Alright, so now moving on downwards, is that it? Ooh, actually now we have some 172 releases. So now we're gonna get some Gemini GA planes coming in the market, and no US Air, no military planes coming in 1/200 scale. So quite interesting right there. So now we're getting some 172 scale. So let's see what our 172 scale is. And that's going to be a Piper PJ3 Cub. Very cool. And here she is right there. And yeah, a very nice GA plane. Of course, here's the aircraft itself. A very nice small plane for the general aviation enthusiast. And yeah, it's all yellow. Here's the propeller right there. You got all the exhaust coming in. And yeah, here's the landing gears. It's a conventional gear airplane. So here's the tail wheel right there. And yeah, it should be a very nice model in 1/200 scale. So of course this, excuse me. Ooh, excuse me guys. So here's the logo, the cup right there. And the aircraft registration is November Charlie 38759er. And will that do it for the 1/200 section, the 172, or will that do it for the September releases? That'll do it for the September 2023 releases. So, honestly, quite surprised we didn't get much American varieties in 1/400 scale. Well, we do got the Air Wisconsin and Southwest and Air Force One, but we mostly get a lot of Middle East planes from Emirates and Qatar. So I'm quite surprised right there. We also got like a Bonza 737 MAX 8 for Australia and a British 777, well, A321neo. That's for 1-200 section. That's for the 1-200 stuff. But for the Airbus A321neo from British Airways, it's nice that they also had this too. Now as for like the 1-200 section, there's like a lot of 1-200 stuff that is gonna be very interesting. Of course, surprisingly, the BBJ 737-700s from the Royal Australian Air Force, those got released like 3 times, which was like similar to what NG models did for the Chinese Air Force A319s. They released 3 1-400 models of that because there were like 3 A319s that flight in China from there. And now GeminiJets is doing their take for the Royal Australian Air Force 737-700s. But yeah, quite interesting right there. The Southwest 727 really caught me off guard. Quite surprised that they're releasing that, so that should be a very cool model for the retro guys. But other than that, nothing really too special about like this release set. Overall, I think this release set is okay. If I would like give like a percentage on the release set, I would say I would give it like a 78% or like an 80%. It's a okay release, but we didn't get much varieties for like America, like North America, and most of like Asia stuff. But other than that, these models should turn out very nice, and yeah. And of course, I'm eager to see what I'm going to be getting in that release set, and hopefully I can get some models to add to my collection. Maybe some new models and some old models, who knows, but what I'm excited for is getting these models in my collection. So yeah, the GeminiJets September 2023 releases, it's an okay release set, and yeah, great to see what GeminiJets has like. What am I saying? Oh yeah, it's nice that GeminiJets is utilizing some airline diversity and nice airplanes for their fleet. And yeah, of course, like, I mean, like, it's okay, yeah. But other than that, I think nothing to really explain too much. There's nothing much to explain about this release set. I think this release set is good, and yeah, once again, I'm eager to see what model I get from this release set, and hopefully these models turn out perfectly once the model images are out. So yeah, that'll do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and turn on that post notification bell so you won't miss a video like this anytime soon. So, that's it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Anyways, good night.